Hey guys, Jamstar here, and I'm going to be doing a series called Bravery Camp. So this is the part of the channel that's going to be more or less focused on hints, tips, or any sort of tech that we stumble across in Dissidia. I'm going to throw a disclaimer that we're going off our own fundamentals and experience, along with research from other sources which we will quote. And these guides can also stale or be outdated as the metagame can develop over time, or balance patches may occur. Alright, so the first episode I'll be covering choosing your character in Dissidia. So this is an interesting topic as most people have different approaches with picking any character in any game. They might just pick a character, what they like the look of, which is kind of standard. Some people might be character loyalists and stay true to one character in every installment. I mean, we've seen this in Street Fighter V where, you see Daigo always pick Ryu and Takeda always pick Akuma. Most players will go off characters that might be similar to their games that they personally play. So like, if you come from an anime fighter, a lot of people might tend to float to Jax because of the fact that he can rapid cancel, which is normally seen in a lot of anime fighters. And since that this is Dissidia, people can pick a hero or a villain from their favorite Final Fantasy, so you will get those common Cloud or Sephiroth mains. Another example is that you might watch a video of a pro playing a single character and be like, you know what, this person has inspired me to play this character and I like the tech that he's doing.
Oh, he makes it back somehow. Sodrack with a beautiful recovery though. This is such pressure. Oh, oh my god! What on earth? What on earth was that? That was disgusting play.
Or you could just take Sam for Kelly's advice.
I pick the top tier, just pick a top tier. You want to win, yo?
I don't even like Balrog like that no more, man.
Pick him.
So there's no concrete tier list, I'll name the popular characters. Cloud is the most played character and the easiest to pick up and get results with. Van, Tidus and Sephiroth follow afterwards, but all three of them have a high skill cap, meaning that you need to have a huge understanding of the game and the characters to get results with them. But they are perfect for growth as all three of them have dynamics in their own way. Some people will pick a character that will fit their playstyle, i.e. rushdown, keep away, all-rounder. Saying that though, this game is broken down to 4 different types. So Square Enix have done it with Vanguard, Marksman, Assassin and Specialists. They've even put a flowchart as well. Kinda gives you an idea of what class represents what, but it doesn't really explain what every character can do. Alright, so a method that I have, which is kinda time consuming, but if you want to pick up a game at any sort of high level, I recommend you do this. Run through the whole roster before you decide to commit to a character. With me and X-Rated doing the whole Knights of Etro series and running through all the characters in the arcades, all the way up to Goldbest, we had an idea of how the roster played even if we didn't like a character. I recommend this to anyone as the chances are you'll pick up a character that you click more with and you have pockets there. So if your main doesn't work out, then you've got a pocket character that you kind of understand to work with and you can kind of add that to your arsenal. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do now is use a demonstration by using my profile along with all the examples that I've just given to show you what characters that would be recommended for me to pick up and play. So I grew up with a handful of fighting games, but the ones that I played the most were Super Smash Bros. And some arena fighters like Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi, and Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. After a while, like everybody else, I was exposed to the esports side of fighting games, with one of my friends Grunt Dude, who is a DOA 4 champion for the EU and won WCG a few years back. He also got results in Soul Calibur 5 and won Versus Fight in 2012. Because I used to train with him with a lot of fighting games, I eventually adopted his playstyle, which is a sort of defensive neutral heavy playstyle.
Nice. Look at that, Grunt Dude isn't turtling now, man. He's changed it up. Yes! Grunt Dude! Oh no!
Eventually I picked up some games at amateur level like Street Fighter 4, Blaze Blue, Persona 4 Arena, Ultimate Marvel vs Capcom 3, but the game that I shined the most at and I actually took more competitive than all the others was Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. So in Smash 4 I mained Olimar and eventually picked up Marth towards the end of my career, as sword characters were dominant in the meta at the time. At one point in my life I tended to play MOBAs like League of Legends and Smite and stuff, and my role was mainly support role, and I used to play like the debuff heavy ones, so ones that were really slow, stun, snare, like those kind of supports I used to play. And I also played Hunter in Phalanx Style Online during my spare time. Alright, so now that we've got this list here of like all of the examples that I've kind of led, I'm going to show you characters that resemble these sort of examples. So we're going to start with Dragon Ball Z. So anyone who's played a Dragon Ball Z game kind of knows that, okay, you need to charge your ki up to turn Super Saiyan or unlock your potential and throw out Kamehamehas and that sort of nonsense. And you know, when you turn Super Saiyan 1 and 2, like these moves become amplified, or you have access to more arsenals. So Rams is the sort of Dragon Ball Z character in this game. His ability, his EX allows him to charge, and when he gets his meter full, he can do Shout or Steal. Now Shout is like a sort of Super Saiyan in the game, if you want to say that. So for a limited amount of time, his moves become amplified and either do extra damage or have some sort of extra properties. And Steal is a sort of buff that gives his team extra speed or damage or defense in that sort of manner. So defensive playstyle kind of goes without saying. So a lot of people will tend to go to marksmans, but if you want like really defensive characters or characters that are neutral heavy, I'd recommend Y'shtola and Terra because they are the defensive marksmen. Like, they don't commit to anything too hard. They just sit there, they wall, they poke, like sort of like a brick wall method where they just throw out like traps and stuff to make a sort of obstacle course, and while they're doing that, they'll poke at you as well and build bravery in that sort of manner. Another neutral heavy character that I would recommend to an extent is Zidane. So a lot of people sit there and think, well, hang on a second, Jamstar, like Zidane's an assassin character. How can he be like a defensive sort of character? Well, the thing is, the way that they built Zidane is that he's more focused on like a sort of neutral heavy stage control, especially the fact that he has that tidal flame where it's like, okay, it's not used to confirm kills, but it's kind of like a sort of scare tactic or to apply pressure or stage control. Alright, so with anime fighters, you know, a lot of them that you come across will have some sort of mechanic called rapid or one more cancel or something. So basically what it is, it's a sort of term that's used in the game. So you can do a string and hit rapid and it will automatically just cancel out, so you can do another string afterwards. Now this can be used to apply pressure or extend combos, and Jekt has exactly the same mechanic. So Jekt EX move allows him to rapid off almost anything, so he can do a HP move and do a rapid and then do another string afterwards to extend the combo and make more bravery damage, increasing his bravery. Or what you can do is you can do like a bravery attack and then another bravery attack on top to increase shield pressure. Or what you can do is if someone's coming at you and you're already comboing someone else, you can do like the rapid to stop your attack and then go for the other person straight away. Alright, so with Marth in Smash Brothers, a lot of people kind of know that he thrives off tippers and he has terrible boxing options, which automatically makes him a sort of mid-zoning character. So you have to be at like a sort of fixed position to apply pressure, which is where he works best at. Most Sword characters are like this, especially Ike and Cloud. So Fearian is a mid-zoning character in this game for exactly the same principle. Like, you know, he doesn't really have the best boxing options. A lot of his moves don't really clank so well, and his attacks only go at such a fixed position. So he has really good peeling tools. Ideally, like, I'd recommend him as well, but the problem is with Fearian is that he doesn't really have the best aerials, but he has such a strong ground game. Alright, so with Olimar in Smash 4, he plucks Pikmin and throws them out, but the thing is, like, with every single Pikmin has different properties, so it kind of has like, okay, so I pluck out 3 Pikmin, I'm entitled to 3 different options that I could at least do, or, you know, I'm limited to 3 sort of types of attacks I could throw out. So with Ace, he has exactly the same thing with his EX move. He pulls out a few different cards. Each different card has different abilities. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link True Blade Seeker's channel to kind of go in depth, but I do have an example here of what certain cards do when you pick them and you cut the cards, and they do different abilities with Ace. Alright, so people who have played Street Fighter 4, they're not going to be a stranger of focus attack. So what you can do is there's this option called focus attack dash cancel and EX focus attack dash cancel, which, you know, you can apply pressure and then dash forward, but you require meter to do it. So this can be used to extend combos or apply pressure, just like how rapid is in like anime fighters. So the way that Sephiroth does it, every single time he does a string or an attack and it hits, even on block or on hit, he can dash cancel, but you have to time it just right. I did have problems doing this as well because of the Japanese beta and the fact that it's connected to the internet, so the connections are always great, but it is a really hard mechanic to master, which is why I say Sephiroth is a really demanding character to get results with. Alright, so Phalanx Style Online 2. Alright, I can explain this because a lot of people sitting there thinking, well, hang on a second, how does Phalanx Style implement with Dissidia? But Skull's one of the characters that does. So playing a Hunter or even any character in Phalanx Style Online, you know, there's that sort of rhythm going. So whenever you hit the rhythm correctly, you'll see the light flash out and you start doing extra damage. So Skull has exactly the same principle, but instead of having like a sort of flash, you'll see explosions coming out of his gunblade every single time he strikes the rhythm right. So I couldn't really get it properly because of the fact that the netcode was really funny on the Japanese beta, but I do have some sort of example of me getting the rhythm perfect a few times. Alright, so playing a support in League of Legends, X-Def kind of suits that sort of category. So he's more of a sort of support character, but like he hits like a truck at the same time. His kit's more or less focused about stopping the team's options, so he shuts you out of options. So he has 3 different types of debuffs. So, well, power isn't really a debuff, but it kind of amplifies his damage. And then the other 2 debuffs that he has is actually called debuff and steal. So debuff kind of like slows them, stops their attack a little bit, lowers their defense. So, you know, if you just keep hitting people with debuff, obviously, like, you know, they'll be taking more damage, they won't be able to escape as much, and they're easy to lock down as well. Steal's the interesting one. So you can get hit with steal and it shuts the opponent out of all of their EX options. So characters like Ramza, who really rely on their EX to charge and steal, or characters like Noctis who need it for Warp Strike, you can shut them out of those options, which is a really cool part that X-Def has, which none of the casts do have. Another thing that you can do is you can teleport, which is a dash attack. So, you know, you can teleport behind a marksman that's throwing out projectiles and you can easily punish them for it. Guys, that's the end of the video then. So like and subscribe if you did like it, and thanks for watching.